what's going on, world? Nutritional wellness guy here, Chef D, your healthy-ish coach. Welcome to episode 11, Muscle Health. Now, this has been an exciting week as we dropped some content all throughout the week. This is pretty much a culmination of all that we talked about. So for starters, when we talk about muscle health, we're not just talking about bodybuilding and leaning out. We're talking about parts of the body that will support you naturally having better muscle function. Because again, I don't think a lot of people realize that muscles are very important, not the aesthetics, not about being size 0 and all abbed out with the chest muscles and arm muscles. That's cute or whatever. But even sometimes those people aren't really healthy inside. So when we're talking about muscle health, we're going to break down 3 red flags that your muscle health may be struggling. Then we're going to talk about 3 micro habits that are powerful that you can start today to help transform and improve your muscle health. And then guess what? I give you 3 top superfoods that you can start implementing into your diet that will support muscle health. Once we do that, we'll talk about some muscle function, or we might start with muscle function, just so you can kind of know what is muscle, what is muscle health. Obviously, we know aesthetically when we see muscle, we usually say, oh, this person is muscular or that person lacks muscle, but we're gonna go a little deeper in regards to the connection with the joints and the bone and how muscles actually support the body in a lot of ways. It's actually a great marker to determine somebody's health because as we get older, we lose muscle tissue, we lose muscle, and we wanna figure out how do we support better muscle health as we get older. So let's get right into it. And disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. None of this podcast episode is to treat, cure, or diagnose anything you may be dealing with when it comes to muscle health or your overall health. I am a nutritionist. I'm a certified personal trainer and a behavior change specialist. I work with you to talk about strategy. I work with this community so we can talk about different ideas and different concerns that we're all having. So that way we're in this together. And today it just happens to be about muscle health. That's what we're talking about today. So shout out to you if you're listening to us on Spotify, iHeart Podcast, Apple Podcast, or if you're checking this out on YouTube. What's going on? I appreciate you and thank you for being a part of the healthyish family. Let's get right into it. So I'm going to switch it up. We're going to talk about key muscle health functions. So when it comes to muscle health, muscle regulates metabolism, blood sugar balance, and even immune health. Let me say that again. Muscle health is connected to blood sugar, it's connected to metabolism, and even your immune health. When it comes to more muscle, this usually can correlate to stronger bones, better posture, and some science is even saying longer life. Now, this is all because when you have muscles that are supporting bones and joints, this allows better posture, this allows better blood circulation, better metabolism, and just an overall better life. This is evidence-based, this is science-based, this is not Chef D opinion-based. Another thing when it comes to key muscle health functions, muscle loss starts around the age of 30 if you're not intentional. It's called sarcopenic. You guys know, if you want me to eat up a word, you give me a big medical word. Even in school, I always had issues with these words. But it's sarcopenia, and this is a condition of losing muscle. And as you start to get older, science is saying around 30 years old, if you're not intentional, if you just become lethargic, if you're just sitting all day, if you're not taking the stairs instead of the elevator or escalator, if you're not going to the gym, if you're not even doing calisthenics or body weight workouts, then you risk losing it. This is one of those things, if you don't use it, you lose it. So again, being more intentional with your workout or with your muscle health, just again, as you're listening to this podcast, what we're saying is that you have muscles all throughout your body and you would want to be intentional about those muscles, because those muscles are going to be supporting joints, and those joints and muscles are going to be supporting bone, and those bones are going to overall support your health. It's all connected. And then last but not least, stress, sleep, diet, inactivity all impact muscle growth and retention. So again, shout out to the people who are working out on a consistent basis, who you have that healthy-ish lifestyle where you are making it an effort to use your muscle so you don't lose it. Just know a stressful life and not enough sleep and a poor diet, we won't get to realize those gains. We won't be able to realize your hard work. You won't be able to see it, because sleep, for one, is where your muscles actually grow. As your growth hormone is released during deep sleep, REM sleep. Now, when it comes to your diet, we hear it all the time. A healthy body is created in the kitchen. That is true. Not only in the kitchen, because again, you can't build muscle by just eating well. But what we're saying is that with a strength training routine and regimen connected with a great diet or a balanced diet or a healthyish diet, you are giving your muscles better function, and it's better longevity, better life, better energy, better mood, better mobility, better flexibility. And it just all is connected also to mental health, because that muscle health and that movement and diet and exercise is also supporting with hormonal balance. Now, what are 3 red flags your muscle health might be struggling? So flag number 1, we released this video on Monday on our social platforms. Long recovery times and frequent soreness. Now, if you just getting back into the gym and it's day 0, day 1, and you're dealing with soreness, we get it. You're going to have some, you're back in the gym, you're dealing with soreness, we get it. You're going to be sore. You're working out a muscle group that you have not been working out in a while, or maybe never. So we get it. It's going to be there. However, if you're in week 2, week 3, and there's always soreness, there's always issues in your muscles, and that is a red flag that your muscle health may be struggling. There may be a lack of some consistency or intentionality. And that's where trainers are a great asset. Not just trainers, also therapists, physical therapists, occupational therapists, personal trainers, group trainers. They're all useful when it comes to intentionally being concerned and proactive with your muscle health. Flag number 2, body composition shifting even without weight gain. So this is like you're seeing your body, and I think people get this mixed up. As we get older, our body is shifting, our composition is shifting, our shape is shifting. However, understand that it shouldn't just be shape. We're not shapeshifters, so it shouldn't be up and down, up and down, up and down. What's happening is that your muscle health is connected also to weight and also to composition, because some parts of the body, if there's too much weight and not enough muscle, then you start to compromise your posture and your movement. So what this is saying is that if you look in the mirror and you're starting to notice composition, your shoes are leaning or turning, or you stand in a certain way, or you're walking a certain way. Sometimes it takes a professional eye or even a family or friend member to spot it. You may not be able to see it in yourself, but if you're up and down with your composition, and this is not so much weight gain, this is just body composition, off balance, crookedness, bow-legged, trust me, it happens. This could be a sign that your muscle health may be struggling. And a third flag is low protein intake or skipping meals, especially after workouts. So your body knows how to crave for protein and crave nutrients. It knows that. It gives you that sensation. However, if you're someone who has a low appetite, you don't really eat much. You say, hey, I don't have a big appetite. I really don't eat much. I just snack here and there. Or after you finish your workout, your body's not craving any sustenance whatsoever. This could be a red flag that your muscle health is off. So your body is not signaling, or maybe not enough effort was exerted, or again, the signaling may be off. It could be a hormonal thing. It can just be a not enough exertion kind of thing. But again, this is something you want to look into, because if you're growing muscle, your body's going to be craving certain macronutrients as well as some micronutrients to support this muscle growth. We only talk about protein, but there are other macronutrients and there's other micronutrients that your body will crave to help with that GH, that growth hormone, and other supports to your muscle health. It's out there. Now, when we shift from that, we go into 3 micro habits that you can start doing to build and retain muscle. So the first micro habit, this is something that I feel we hear often, but we probably didn't connect it to muscle health. And this is hydration and electrolytes. So it's good to start hydrated early in the morning and stay hydrated throughout the day. And I always say hydrate your hydration. And what I mean by that is making sure you're empowering your hydration with electrolytes and things that's going to support that. And again, when you do that, this kills dehydration, because dehydration kills strength. So when you're dehydrated, you're depleting your body of energy and you're depleting your body of certain nutrient absorption. So you want to make sure you're getting your water in, because your water is going to get everything where it needs to be. It's like a transport tool in a sense, and it's good for absorption. Number 2, as far as micro habits to build and retain muscle, you want quick body weight circuit before your day begins. So this is compounding movements to activate more muscle. What I mean by that is making sure, and this is not, I didn't say start the gym in the morning time. I'm saying as you're getting your day going on YouTube, we're even working on some fitness series that you guys can start looking at that are at home, or even we're going to have 2 at home and at the gym. So that way we're not intimidated. There's no confusion on how to do an exercise or how to do a movement. But what I'm saying is that when you wake up, you got your fresh sunlight, you got some fresh air, start to think about a quick little 15-minute routine to activate some of the muscles to get going. Sometimes it could be a push-up, sometimes it could do some mountain climbers, it could do a couple of squats. Be intentional about the movement and prime your muscles, so that way as you go through your day, they're already in demand. So that's what we mean by quick body weight circuit before you're done. It's like a little baby HIIT class that you're doing on your own. And again, there's tons of videos on YouTube. I know they have certain machines that you can get for the house or right on your phone. And these allow you, hey, I only got 7 minutes. Hey, I got 10 minutes before the kids get up and I got to get them ready for school. Or I got 15 minutes before I need to shower and get to work. There are very short, concise body workout circuits that you can do to activate muscle health and muscle, which are compounded movements to activate more muscles. Again, you can go to the gym and just curl and curl and curl, but you're not activating body weight circuit movements, which really, again, help those minor muscles. Micro habit number 3. I just popped a strawberry. You guys know I love my berries. Micro habit number 3, to build and retain muscles. So 20 to 30 grams of protein in your first meal. This is a suggestion. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you what I've seen work and what science is saying. So 20 to 30 grams of protein in your first meal. Morning protein is non-negotiable for growth. So it's like a wink, wink. Like, I'm not telling you to do it, but I'm saying you should kind of like do it. But seriously, in the morning time is a great opportunity to get all engines going. It's the best time to fuel up. Imagine you having a half a tank or a quarter tank of gas and you're starting on a long journey. Because let's be honest, sometimes our days feel like long journeys, long road trips, and you just don't know what's coming up, what traffic you're going to be dealing with, or road detours or construction. But to start fueled up in the morning is great. And protein doesn't just come from meat. I'm not saying sausage and bacon or whatever else you do for your protein in the morning as far as meat. You have eggs, you have yogurt, especially Greek yogurt. You have oatmeal that you can put together, and you can use things like flaxseed and quinoa, and you can use nuts and berries. There's so many things, avocados. There's a lot of healthy, good proteins you can use in the morning time to fuel your day. But this is also going to help fuel muscle health. So you're not just relying on a protein shake after the gym for your protein gains. Because believe it or not, it's not really easy to get all your protein in the day intentionally on a healthyish consistency or basis. It's really not. You really got to be someone who's planning and really thinking about this because you, especially someone who's not always eating all day, it's easier to snack and eat on empty calories and miss your protein goal for that day. And then well, I shouldn't say another micro habit. That was the three. Let's get into the top foods. So 3 top muscle building foods that I've used and I've seen work and I have used with clients as far as a strategy. So I'm a flexitarian, so I don't eat meat every single meal, but I still eat meat. Grass-fed beef or bison. Now, this is good for the creatine, for iron, full amino acid profile, just like an egg is also a complete amino acid. So have a complete amino profile. When it comes to beef, I said this before, when it comes to the meats I do eat. So when I do eat meats, I want to know, this is just me, you do what you do, but I want to know that whatever animal I'm eating, they had a pretty decent life. I don't want to eat animals that were stressed out in some crazy environments, in hostile situations, cluttered and packed, fed anything garbage. I don't want that. I want my cows eating grass, pasture fed. I want them grass fed and grass finished. I want them to be able to roam. I want them to have some sun. I want them to have some fresh air. That's me. That's what I want to invest in when it comes to my meats and beefs. So what I'm saying, a top food for muscle building, and this is obviously if you're vegan or vegetarian, this is not for you. This is my flexitarian family and all other. You want to make sure that you are getting in your grass-fed beef or some bison, which is good for muscle building. They also have like broth packets where you can get your beef broth, beef bone broth. Those are pretty good too. But what I'm trying to point out is the creatine, the iron, and the full amino acid profile that is in beef. There's other muscle building proteins out there, but the top 3, the top one that I'm putting in there is my beef. Hate it or love it, it's up there. Number 2, whole eggs. So high in leucine and muscle repair nutrients, another complete amino acid profile. Now, there's always a thing out there where people are just doing egg whites and not the egg yellow because of cholesterol and all this other stuff. Please understand that there's actually more nutrients in the yolk than it is in the whites. And also understand that both of them together activates better absorption. So what I do is I like to buy my whites. I like to buy egg whites in a container, organic pasture-fed egg whites. And then I like to take my whole eggs, and I would take like 2 whole eggs, and I would take like a cup or a half a cup of egg whites. And I'll mix it obviously with my spinach and my mushrooms and my chicken sausage or whatever the case may be. Sometimes I leave the sausage out. And that's how I get my little egg joint in the morning. I used to do hard-boiled eggs. I still do. But lately I've been in this like scramble, like my little flipping the wrist chef. I've been in my little chef bag lately. So I've been like wanting to whip up my eggs and make all these little creations. But again, the full nutrition is in the yolk and in the whites. So just figure out a way that you don't want to totally not do your egg yolk. You want to find a way in moderation to include the whole egg. That's just my top 3. You got someone else who may say, hey, leave out the egg yolk. Tell them why. If it's just the cholesterol part, there's workarounds that. And if you're doing it the right way and you're doing it balanced, that won't be an issue. And last but not least, y'all ready for this one? If you already watched it on Wednesday, you know what's coming. But if you didn't watch it yet, sweet potatoes. So this is a clean carb that supports glycogen refueling and muscle energy. I love me some sweet potatoes. I take a whole bunch, bake them off, put them in a container, and I just warm them up throughout the week. Great. And then sometime I'll just peel the skin out and throw it in my smoothie because it's just a great food. And that's pretty much it. When it comes to muscle health, we talked about the function. We talked about some red flags. We talked about some micro habits. We talked about some top foods. That's like, who are the best rappers alive? Who are the best singers alive? There's always going to be a different list. It's always going to be someone who's going to say, well, that's not my top 3. It may not be, but this is my top 3. And this is what I've seen work. And again, I'm interested to hear about your top 3. So if you have a top 3 muscle building foods, throw it in the comments section because I love that. So I don't believe my top 3 are the only top 3 micro habits, the only top 3 foods, and the only 3 red flags. These are just what I've come up with in research and just dealing with my experience with clients in the military. It's just my little list. But again, thank you for joining the community. I appreciate you. Muscle Health, another great episode. Check us out tomorrow for Coach's Corner. We have Dr. Silva on, who goes a little deeper in muscle health. Phenomenal episode. And remember, health is wealth. And I'm just here to make sure you're getting paid. Until next time, yum on.